So here we are, it's the third and final day, I think, of this current iteration of this project. And I'm gonna film myself trimming this up and tidying this up with the absolute permission I'm giving myself to not post this if it all goes wrong. First though, so this is my beautiful, I love this thing that came from this project. And we'll get to that. I was excited to come into the art area this morning and get to work. I always kind of call these projects my, I don't know if it's my perpetual motion of looking forward to something. Perpetual motion machine, which is a theoretical thing currently, maybe in the future won't be. Anyway, I wanted to see if I could actually do the thing I was talking about, and oh, this will get everywhere. This is some undried paint that didn't dry. So here is one of the, I guess, prototypes that I did. It was a it was one of the blank sheets of paper from the little tutorial. Oops, almost tore it on the wrong side. This little thing has been sort of abused because it's copier paper. I took just a awful painting, just a failed painting that was supposed to be something else. It wasn't what I wanted, but I still thought maybe we could do something with it. So thank you to this painting that I disliked, but that came through clutch for this little mini example of what I was talking about. I ripped up this thing, not in anger, just let's do something else with it, let's see. And knowing that it could all just go into recycling, couldn't it? Not that I try to do that, but I give myself a little permission. So it takes off, it sort of removes some of the stress. So I was like, I already had my things numbered, my pages. I didn't, erase it or anything. I just kind of kept it. I would be a lot more meticulous if this was something real. But just to show that I applied these pieces of my, defunct, rejected painting, the ashes of this little abstract painting I had, onto the, template, prototype template. And one of the things I did that was kind of funny is I put a piece across the middle, so it became, it just became sort of firm. So I have to remember that when I unfold it. And then, so let's see if I have it correctly. So just arbitrarily, I made, this was the front. And I sort of did just a simple collage that doesn't really go anywhere. I left spaces though purposely in case I wanted to write or stamp something or put something more there or put text there. So it's just, there's nothing like, this is just me trying to get some stuff on these pages so I can see what we can do with it. And the back cover. Hopefully that shows up. And these were genuine blues also. This was something I did, I think, over winter. It's been just sitting, wondering what it would do. All right, yeah, so that kind of, yeah. Then, see if I can, I just put it in my, I have a inkjet home printer, nothing, it's not that fancy or anything. We need to have it. These days we need to have something like that. But I do use it for scanning my artworks and things. and cards. And I decided, well, let's see if we can, you know, compare or see if this works. This thing that I was saying, hey, try it. So I can already see where, you know, the lines might be slightly off when we go to fold it, but that's okay. We'll see. I don't know. And then, of course, color correction is an issue. And, you know, I struggle with this. I'm sure if I had a, you know, there are different like printers and scanners, and you can go to a professional place or have one or whatever, but this is what I've got to work with. And I don't know if it's showing up, but it's, you know, they're not the same, exact same. This is the copy and that's the original. No. All right, so we know that. Let's see. Remember to fold it the way that originally set up. So that's our little example. I'm gonna just see what we can get out of this guy. I wonder, like, would this work for low budget? Actually, these days maybe not as low budget because we have digital that's supposedly free. Not really. Like if I wanted to canvas, you know, an idea around little libraries, or, you know, do some mail art, or, you know, invite family to a, you know, event during camping trip or something like that, or just advertise, hey, come take my little art session, which again, don't hold me to that. That might be, you know, that might be like audience of one. And I have someone in particular if they decide to come. All right. So again, with the lovely touching and folding of the paper, which I enjoy. Kind of, oh, this might be a job for my little tool here. Get it a little more. Okay. Fold along this edge, get it as close as I can. Go right in for the scissor cut. Some people do a scissor kick when they're dancing. I'm doing a scissor cut here when I'm making. I've got my, you know, oh, I should have continuing at this. This abracadabra thing that you want to do, line it back up. I already know this is the front and back cover. And I can't see my little note because I collaged over it. You know, I know that I did more on the back and front. For fun. Commit. Like this, commit. Clean hands, commit. Well, usually clean hands. Double check which way it goes if I remember. So, you know, I didn't get real neat and tidy with this, I would have erased all these and done it much smaller, and I would have given myself a little mnemonic or something to remember that. But here we go. So we went from sort of a template or a prototype or a raw version and made a cheap inkjet photocopy that we just had at home. Could even be black and white, could be text. And now we have, yeah, that worked pretty well, actually. I'm impressed. I actually got the fold pretty close to the center there because the collage paper lifted this up a little off the scanning screen. So we have like the, you know, I could play with that. I could, you know, be more professional. For some reason it radiated out. I don't know if that shows. It radiated out sort of a shadow there from this piece. I don't mind. But yeah, there we go. That's kind of cool. All right. And then this is the part where I probably should stop and start a new video, but I'm not going to do that. So this is our thing. And it's beautiful. I'm going to take out these sheets of like silicone wax paper, baking paper. They're now a little bit used and wrinkled, but I'm not throwing these away. These get now used for another project that requires, you know, it's just going to probably be gesso or some kind of acrylic spilling over. So I don't, you know, waste this. So I use it until it's time to say goodbye to it. Put it back in my little area. All right. I just love this, but I do want to tidy it up a little bit. And historically, this can, you know, go all kinds of ways. So let's see what happens. I have a few tools to talk about. Craft knife. This is a great craft knife. We're all familiar with these, like, interchangeable, you know, it's kind of like a pen. It could be lots of different shapes, or not lots of different shapes, but lots of different, like, this one's fancy and has a thing for me to grip. I notoriously injure myself sometimes around things, so I like that. But when this gets dull, we dispose of it safely and then put a new one in. What I find though is that working with some of these thicker papers, these, you know, watercolor or multimedia papers, it cuts through these blades very fast. And so I felt like I was using way too many for what I was doing. So luckily, another maker artist I follow, DAS bookbinding. I mean, for the Australian accent alone, but for the mad skills and teachings, I discovered, I didn't know these existed, this type of a craft knife that, let's see, if you can see, it's hard to, but you can, like, the blade has sections. This is called an olfa knife. And the blade, so as we dull this point with all this cutting we do, I can, bink, take a little piece off, and then I have the next sharp piece and the next sharp piece. I'm not explaining that very well. Go find DAS and he will explain it so much better. I am grateful for this. So, also, I have a couple different metal rulers for this, and this is one that I think this is even called, yeah. You can see it. It's the Mon Safety Rule, and it actually, it probably is more helpful in carpentry I came to find out. But there are times where, if you can see, this ruler has like, it comes up and it has a slant. So if I were to, I can use that to follow it. And it tends to be a little safer. Or so I'm told. But I'm not sure that it ended up working that way yet. I'm just gonna go with my cheap old metallic bendy cork on the bottom ruler and hope this works. And I'm gonna use my cutting grid that I keep over my desk. And what I wanna do is, let's see if this is making sense. I can use this grid to line up the spine of this book best I can. DIS, I hope you don't find this video because you're gonna see me not do this with the correct form. If I were making a beautiful book like you do, I would take more care. All right, I'm actually gonna stand so I can get a little more of my weight on this so it doesn't move around, let's hope. And now we take a deep breath and hope this works. Okay. And what I'd like to do is match up that nice, let's see if I'm doing this correctly, that lovely spine. Again, match it up on my grid, comes in handy. And I was kind of thinking of things I've learned through this process of filming this project, because I don't know if I'm always going to film a project like this. First of all, I enjoy working with music on, and the first thing is that we know that we can't, my first video in this series might even get pulled or something. I'm not trying to monetize it or anything, but you know, with YouTube has its, you know, rules and such. And so let's see, am I doing this? So for me to really enjoy my painting especially, I like to have the music going. And I like, if you look at this channel, I've got all my little my playlists, and they help me with flow state, and they help me kind of tune things out and just get into it. And so that's not everybody, but I can't really actually show that process on YouTube. And I think there's like subscription ways to show that and things like that if I ever wanted to. But, you know, honestly, that's not, it's like, you get the point. All right, let's take this edge off. Tidy this up. Hope I... Oh. Sometimes it's a little more crooked than I would like, and this one looks pretty good. Let's see if we can sit back down. Move some of these tools out of the way. Excellent tools I've collected and help me out. I actually have a corner hole punch. This little wonderful creation will put these like little corners on the pages. I may do that, but I don't think I'll do that on camera. That would be pretty jarring sound. Some people might like it. I like it, but you know, doesn't need to be on the recording. And I may or may not. So, what a delightful, oh, I love this. I just love it. It says things to me. Doesn't have to be. It could actually be this way. I intend it to be this way, but it doesn't have to be. And here we go. So, you know. Oh, it makes me happy to look at these colors and these splotches on this page. To hold it. I made it. Well, maybe we did. I love this page. Where will this go? What will it do? I don't know. It might just stay in my collection because I like to look at it. It might be a gift. It might have text or something else added to it. I don't know. I don't know. As we said, creating, see, notes. It's not all off the cuff, let's be honest. Creating on paper is a tactile experience. It's physical for me. Beaming myself to strangers, let me not say strangers, people's. Look, I crossed it out. Even my own, people's screens, even my own, is very weird. It's very weird. Even, you know, sending it back to myself, which is the main point of these. How many years have I been on social media in some form? Decades. And it's still very weird to regard myself in this way. Beaming up to space and beaming back, or, you know, oversimplification. So I have respect and empathy for anyone that does this. Anyone. Almost anyone. Let me say almost. This is it's weird. And I don't necessarily mean bad. I want to, this is just something I noticed looking back at these videos, and I had to watch my own self, and that was fun. But it showed me things about my process that hopefully I was like coming back and improving or ignoring, but like consciously. The Google or the YouTube transcription, translation, transcription is probably the better word. The, you know, subtitles that you get, the transcript, I guess, yeah. As I watch it, it makes a few errors here and there. It gets it really right, especially considering how at times I'm mumbling or you know, not as audible. And it gets it really right in most instances, but in some, it just really got it wrong. Now, I don't know. I'll have to observe over time. I'll have to come back to these videos and see, you know, just because I'm curious, if it improves over time, if it goes back and edits as it, I don't know, it learns, quote unquote. But as of the day I'm making this video, which is the day after I made the last videos, it has me calling this what I would pronounce as Zen fold. Capital Z-E-N. But, and Okay, to somebody, maybe even to me, because I am talking about sort of the mindfulness and meditative aspect of this thing, these things I do. But I really am saying zinefold, Z-I-N-E. And I'm referring to zines, which kind of comes from the word magazine as I understand it. So Z-I-N-E, and it's, I believe, lowercase in my usage here. So that's just the thing I want to point out. And I don't know that, you know, I'm kind of talking to YouTube algorithm at this moment. I'm not necessarily, you know, it's probably something that most of us notice. Oh yeah, they get that wrong. Oh, but when they get you wrong, just, they got me wrong here. It's not a big deal. It's, you know, who cares? But it's just something to be aware of, that, you know, having subtitles on videos is so excellent for people who need accessibility, whether it's through a visual reader or something like that, or just, you know, needing to do something else while reading a video, you know, not listening to this video. Multitasking, they call it. And it's just a reminder to me that, you know, they don't always get my own words correct. And I'm sure it's not some nefarious thing, but it's just something to be aware of. I hate to end on a, you know, hey, here's what we can do better kind of thing. So I'm going to end on, you know, and I mean, yeah, of course, I'm always trying to do better, but I'm going to end on, I did something. I did this. And personally, I like it. Might have even liked the chance to share it. So thanks. All these twists and turns, thank you.